Hey Wealth Lab 7 users, Glitch here. Today we're going to talk about what's new in Wealth Lab 7 Build 40. So let's get started. There's a couple new features in the core product and a couple things in some of the extensions. So first off, a new transformer indicator. If we click indicators here in Wealth Lab 7, we can see the roster of all of our indicators. They're organized by library. For example, Advanced Smoothers is one of our extensions. It contains the smoothing indicators. It's also organized by folder. So if I scroll down, we'll see a folder called Transformer Indicators. These are indicators that can be applied to another indicator and perform some kind of transformation on them. The new one here is SmoothInd. So let's take a quick look at that. Open up a chart. Well, first let's take a look at what smoothing an indicator actually means. We'll start by clicking oscillators here to filter the indicators to only show us oscillators. We'll take one of our oscillators, let's say CMO, Shine Momentum Oscillator, drop it on the chart. Let's give it a period of 10. So there it is plotted. Now, see how the line is a little bit jagged. Oftentimes we want to try and smooth the line by applying some other indicator called a smoother on top of that indicator. If you click the smoothers filter up here, Wealth Lab 7 will then filter the indicators and show you only the smoothers. So let's use one of the advanced smoothers, let's say double exponential moving average, and drop it onto the CMO. And let's give it a period of 4. And let's give that color a little bit, something that corresponds better with that blue. So here we have a smooth version of the CMO, of the original CMO, and we can even, let's give this an alpha to make it kind of push back a little bit in the chart. Now we can see our smooth version of the indicator overlaid over the original indicator. So that's all well and good, but what if we want to go into a building block strategy and take an action whenever that smoothed CMO turns up? So let's see, how can we do that? We have a condition indicator turns up. So okay, we can drag that over. But how do we get the smoothed indicator? There's really no way in a building block strategy. Until now we can use a new indicator called SmoothInd, our transformer indicator. We go to its parameters. The first parameter is the base indicator. So we're going to change it to CMO close 10. The second indicator is the smoother indicator. So we're going to use our DEMA. And you notice the source here is pointing to source indicator. So that's just pointing to the CMO, which in this SmoothInd is this smoothers source indicator. So we have all the parameters set up. We can click OK. Now let's give it an exit rule of selling after, let's say, 5 bars. There we go. And let's run it on a single stock. Take a look at the result. Take a look at our chart. And so here we go. It plotted the smoothed CMO, smoothed by the double exponential moving average. So another transformer indicator to give you even more power and flexibility in your building block strategies, new for Build 40. Next, let's take a look at a refactoring of our Federal Open Market information in our data extensions extension. So we have a new event provider in our data manager, and it's FOMC meetings. So this event provider will provide an event whenever there's an FOMC meeting that was scheduled, and it even handles meetings that span multiple days. So how can we use this, for example, in a chart or a strategy? Let's go to a chart and let's go to our fundamental indicators here. So let's scroll down a little, and here we have a node called fundamentals. There's an indicator called fundamental. So in order to see that FOMC in our fundamental indicator, I'll first need to make sure it's checked or enabled in this event provider in the data manager. So let's drag over the fundamental indicator now, and we should see FOMC. There it is in our list. We want to turn off this carry forward. What the carry forward does is it takes whatever the previous fundamental or event data point and just kind of carries it over so you can see on the chart when they change. For the case of this one, we just want to look at the individual days of the meetings plotted, and we should be good to go. Let's click OK. And here we go. We can see some lines down here. So these lines were the days that the FOMC meetings occurred. And you can also see a little indicator here on the chart, this F. You could see that it spans a couple of days. So there we go, a new way to get at the Federal open market meetings. We know they can often play a role in volatility and market movement, so you can easily access them in Wealth Lab and use them in your trading decisions. Lastly, I want to open another extension, the Indicator Profiler, which allows you to run an analysis on all of the indicators installed in Wealth Lab 7. Some major changes here. We have now several sections that you can enable and disable indicators. So for example, I want to enable only my oscillators. So I just click that there and I'll click run. And there we can now see all of the oscillators enabled very quickly. All other indicators were disabled. The other change in the indicator profiler is if I open it up from scratch now, and I select an indicator and want to run it in the evaluator. So if I right click here and say indicator detailed analysis, or if I just double click it, it will open up in the evaluator and provide the detailed analysis of that indicator for the selected data up here. Previously, you would have had to first run the complete profile before you were able to view the evaluator results. So just a little convenience feature. That's everything. Well, not everything. There's a few other things. Check the change log for the few other miscellaneous items that are new for Build 40, but that's it for this video. Thanks everyone, and see you all on the forums.